Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara,
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
and we are back from our little hiatus. It's been a little minute. We missed y'all.
Definitely.
Yes, it did.
Yes, feels good to be back, though.
Hmm.
Absolutely. We were asleep, but we are now awake.
Yes, indeed. And we are coming back with one of our favorites of the Power Universe, Raising Kanan. This is season 4, episode 1. It's titled Gangsters Don't Die.
Mm,
Yeah, so we already know we got to get into that.
mm.
But before we do, please make sure you all are subscribed to our channel, like this video, and make sure you all are following us on all of our social media platforms at The Spot Real Talk. You can find us on all of them. And you're not gonna want to miss out. Subscribe, tap in with us because we got some stuff up our sleeve. We always come in with the hot interviews and making sure that we can include our viewers and everything that we do. So tap in with us. Make sure you locked in.
And let me just say for the record, Tiffany does a spot on job with her press relationships with these folk that we're how we're able to get such great artists and things like that. So
Thank you.
let me shout out to her, even though
Yes,
I got
indeed.
things with her, but I'm gonna shout her out because she is good people.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So you guys want to go ahead and jump into this episode
Hmm.
quickly. Now, before we talk about season 4, season 3 left off with like that big shocker for everybody that okay, Unique is still alive. And so that I think everybody was really happy about that because they really enjoy Joey Badass's presence
Mm.
on this show. Like he really is a great actor. And so I was gonna be a little disappointed if he left the show too. I ain't gonna lie.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they revived him and found a way to keep him in the storyline.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah.
I got a lot to say, but I'll wait. I mean, I mean, like you said, I'm glad too. Joy is a excellent, artist, and he brings a lot to the show. I can't imagine it, you know, I can't imagine he not being in the show, but
Mhm.
dang, I mean, the way y'all had him beat down, y'all brought this brother back from the grave. I
Yeah, I
mean,
was gonna say, Ron, I know you're a realist, and I know
I
you like, I
really,
don't even know how he made it through that beating.
I would have been much better off to see him dead and he stick his arm out of the grave and come back dead. That I can buy.
Listen. Yeah, I hear you. It's TV. However, remember that 50 Cent got shot 9 times and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
he's
yeah.
here to talk about it. So
Facts. So, and it's good that this first episode of season 4 kind of opened up with a flashback because it kind of took us 3 months prior to where Unique basically, rose from the dead in the woods somewhere. And thank goodness he has this so-called, I'm gonna call him quote unquote friend, because he only doing what he
early,
doing because he getting
early.
paid.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I was like, where early come from? I don't remember seeing early, but that's the first person he called.
Early Tyler.
Yeah.
And what's up with Early? I mean, okay, you gonna talk about my boy. You call him a clown, when Unique hit the ground because he tried to get up and, wanted to get out and do his thing. He hits the ground and you still sitting there and it took you a half day to get up and help the man off the floor. Do you know that Unique is very calculative?
Mm-hmm.
He's putting all that
I
in his
got I
head.
got a good feeling that Early gonna be getting up out of here early.
Early gonna
He
be
probably
late.
will.
It's gonna be
He
the
probably
late
ain't
early.
right. He ain't gonna get that money he waiting on.
Yeah, and it's like, he's taking them to the doctors and whatnot and trying to do like this underhanded kind of backdoor hospital visits and getting this doctor to come in. And the
He's a
doctor is
vet.
warning him,
Hey, he's
like,
a
it's
vet.
The
not
doctor is
looking.
a vet.
He's a vet, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't catch that part, but I was like, what he's saying is not looking good. And based on what we've seen before, it's more likely that his behavior is going to have a drastic shift. So that's why I was like, oh, Nick ain't playing. Like he's going hard for his vengeance.
Hmm.
And Early had a lot to do with that too, because he's sitting there telling Unique that pretty much the world's against you. Ronnie couldn't have done this on his own, and so he's feeling an already sick-minded person, with a lot of hate. And so
Yeah.
I could see it. It's like a wind-up doll. You wind him up, and now you send him out on his way. So he's got a lot of vengeance, but I don't know, Early. Your day's
But he told her what he saw. He told her what he saw. I mean, he and Unique kind of put the rest of it together. He did say, Kanan is working with,
yeah.
with your brother now,
Right.
and this and the other. So he did, he did give him the breadcrumbs, like he said. But he did, Unique with him not being in his right mind, he did jump to that conclusion that everybody
Yeah.
was.
I mean, it adds up. If you see your brother working with Kanan and you
Mhm.
know how tight of a grip that Rock had on Kanan previously, it's like, oh, this like she been playing me from the jump.
Right. But but you also knew when Rock and Unique was dating, they were beefing. Kanan
Mhm.
wasn't even in the house when
Right.
they were
Right.
dealing with each other. So he was forced to come back. I mean, I remember she broke it off because, she knew that Kanan was coming back, but she forced that.
Yeah.
So, I understand how it looks because that's her son, regardless.
Yeah. And so I mean, I'm like, it's not looking good for Rock if these behavioral changes as bad as Doc is saying they are. Because you already, like you say, you got a sick-minded man, and obviously he's physically weak, but nobody knows about him. He's literally a ghost, and that's what Early was trying to kind of portray to him and get emphasized in his mind, like, you off the map right now. That's an advantage that nobody knows.
But I think, and I could be wrong, but he has some lingering ghosts, which I think will bring him back. You know, I think it's like one of those storms that the weather report says it's going to be 20 inches of snow, and when it hits, you only get three. So I'm thinking that as the season progresses, that as much rabid dog he is appearing to be, I don't think his bite is going to be as bad as his bark. So I
I
don't.
don't know. I think he might be. I think he's gonna turn that one time before maybe there's a breakthrough,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah,
he'll
I mean,
realize that he's
But
gone too
who
far.
do
But
you
I
think
think
who's going to
he
go?
almost took out Lou.
Who's going to go?
that, I was about to say, why did Luke have to get
Yeah,
like
get it.
target on his back? I
Yeah,
know he's trying to get back at Rock, but I'm like,
yeah, and we
what's
know Rock's not going early. If she goes at all, I don't think it's going to be Rock. So
Mm-mm.
early, yeah, he'll be the late early. So I can see that. But I just don't.
It
Who
could be one of the brothers. It
But
could be.
okay, you got to think about it too, because not only did Rock, you know, kill his brother, I think he wanted that vengeance for himself. I
Well, he
think he
did.
wanted to get his brother himself.
Yeah, he
And
did.
so, okay,
Yes.
you took that away from me. But then on top of that, he knows you went behind my back. You told me you were out the game. Then you took my plug. You took my little Chinese spot where I was
Yes.
operating out of.
Yes.
But we all thought
Yes.
you were dead.
I mean,
But she
yeah,
said she
clearly
was out
she's,
the game. The last thing she said to
yeah,
him was she was out the game. And
bro,
then when he out, she is yeah, it looks
bro.
bad.
Look,
But
now don't let him find out that she was pregnant and
yeah,
got rid of
well,
the baby.
we had that discussion with Joy and in our press conference, Tiffany and I. So it'll be interesting to see what he does and how he responds.
Right, because I'm wondering, is he even going to, like, is he going to be thankful because it's like, oh, you was already a snake, I don't need to no dealings with you, I don't need no ongoing relationship because of a kid? Or is it going to be like, dang, I actually wanted that, like, and you would do that to me? So I'm really interested in seeing which way he takes that news if he ever finds out.
Yeah.
Well, I think the one thing that we found out from this episode is what I had said to our son all along, because believed he thought that Unique was just playing rock or that they were playing each other and stuff. And I told him, I said, they got real feelings. Yeah, they keep one eye on, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I know they couldn't fully trust each other, but they had real feelings for each other. And this first episode showed it because he was just like, oh, she was lying to me. Like he looked betrayed.
Yep.
So he did have real feelings for her. And Rock, when she confided to Juke, she was like, it was unique, da 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 da. Like, she had real feelings for him too.
Yeah. She said it could have developed into some love.
Yeah.
So
But that gets
yeah,
back to the vulnerability question I asked Patina, and though she gave a very specific and tailored response, uh, She cut through. No, no, hey, she
she
cut through.
kind of like,
I got
she's
look.
like, I gotta push back on that.
Yeah,
Sure
look,
it
y'all.
is.
Okay, so if y'all, for the viewers out there, Ron been dropping breadcrumbs. They were able to interview Patina Miller and find out some, Enjoy Badass and get some insight on this season. So please, when that episode drops on our channel,
No,
make
it's
sure
up.
you are
It's
tapped in.
already up.
It's
It's
already
Okay,
up.
it's
already up.
already up.
It's
So yeah,
already up.
you guys go and check that out because that it full of insight.
Yeah, yeah. She opened up big time on me, man. I mean, but hey, all good, all good.
It's all good.
But I just think that as much as we see Rock trying to be a Rock, I just denoted, as I had mentioned to the showrunner Sasha, that I saw maybe a little more vulnerability in her, and it had a lot to do with the baby and also Kanan, because in as much as we see that dynamic between them, I know she loves Kanan and she wants to get back that love and that embrace with him, but Kanan ain't having it. Kanan's just, he's all over the place with that. Yes, Patina set me straight with the vulnerability act, and I'm all good for it. But as I said, I think that there's an open door that hadn't been opened in previous seasons or episodes, as far as I'm concerned. How you all take it, hey.
And like you were saying, like Rock is a rock. Like even when they were trying to put her in the counseling, after terminating the pregnancy or whatnot, she was just rock solid, would not open up. She was like, I'm good, this ain't my first rodeo. I'm straight. I've been there, done that, and just pushing through it, trying to get out of there as quick as possible. And so I'm like, I know that you got to be a little tight-lipped when you in the industry that she in.
Exactly.
But even emotion wise, like even last season when we seen her trying to when Lou pulled her into his counseling session, she was brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
But I did see her soften up a little bit more with Kanan this episode. Because we know Kanan, he has that project that he's doing for school that he has to do, and he's basically reporting on family, and we'll talk more about that. But basically she was trying to give him, let him know, I know you don't want to hear from me, I know you pissed with me, but I'm your mother, I love you no matter what, even if you don't love me back. And I was like, yeah, that was powerful, and it seemed like it moved Kanan.
Yeah, it did. And that's what I said. And she, well, you guys will see in the interview, she pushed back and she talked about the times she's been vulnerable. Because I do think that as hard as she has been, she has been vulnerable. She had her moments. Because even like going back to, you mentioned the situation with Lou, she was tough in it, but she said to him, like, I believe she gave him a lifeline, because she was like, Lou, you were my heart.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I was like, she opened up. She did open up in that session with him and stuff.
Yeah,
because,
and even like you said, how she opened up with Jukebox, like they have a very tight bond. And I think that being the only two women in the family, it's like they all each other has, really.
Is that something though you would have expected from her?
No.
I didn't, and I guess that's where I was coming from.
I mean,
I didn't expect, because we've seen at times that when she could have been vulnerable with Kanan, or um Jesus, her name just went right out of my head.
Who, Jukebox?
Jukebox.
Mm-hmm.
She was very stern, and so I've seen that in her. It's just that, again, what you said about how she reacted to Jukebox, how she reacts to Kanan, it just to me seemed a little softer than what I've known from her.
Yeah. Well, I just think, listen, as women, Black women in particular,
Yeah.
we have other sides. There's you got to present to the world. You got to rough this, that, and the other. But there are times that we do we gotta take off our cape. We gotta, let our hair down. We gotta be soft and pink and stuff. And I just think she picks and chooses who she can do that with, because she doesn't at this point have the best relationship with the mom.
Right.
And so most times, that's who we would normally go to really open up and stuff. And because she doesn't have that relationship with her like that, I think like Juke is probably the only one. And then her, because Kanan is her vulnerability. Like, there's times Like she even said to Kanan, like, the reason why you're alive, I made choices. The reason why you're breathing, because
Yeah,
she took a lot of losses because of decisions that Kanan made too.
True,
yes.
true.
Yeah. And I'm just wondering how Kanan has been affected because like I said, last season ended off, you killing my father, and they were just starting to bond. And so
Mm-hmm.
like I'm thinking, he's kind of carrying that, like, dang, you would do that. So and that's why I'm like, either he's taking it like you'll do anything to protect me, or you really will go to no end to get what you want.
I think it's the latter. I think that's
Yeah.
how he feels right now.
Right.
Yeah, so I just hope that they can come back together because it seems like even though they talked earlier in the episode and the FBI task force is kind of off everybody's back thanks to that lawyer and whatnot. But I don't think it's over for them. I think they still got eyes on them. And once it's discovered that Malcolm is dead, I think that they're gonna be a prime suspect. That whole family.
But Kanan living in this sense of duality, this parallel world, having a dad that's a cop and your mom, you know, and what you and your mother do for a living, those two are never going to mesh. Well, they could, but then the cop has to not be a cop anymore, and that's asking a bit much to a father that you don't know. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you were trying to he was trying to get closer to you. How it was. He was doing the things he wanted, he could do to try to get that closer relationship, and it seemed like he was warming up to that. But the reality is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the question is just how much of that reality uh, do you really understand? Do you accept?
Well,
Because
I
your mother
think
did what she had to do to protect you.
for sure. I think that this whole report that he has to do for school is helping him understand his family a little bit more, because he got the grandmother side of the story, and she was like, we had our odds, but your grandfather was a brilliant man. He was good at everything. He had a lot of different talents and whatnot, and so he kind of got like the sweet side of things from grandma. But then he goes to talk to Marvin, and although Marvin had some positive things to say about how the dad was a great boxer and all this stuff, he was very upset at his decision to end his own life because he felt like it was selfish, and he left the family with a lot of problems. Although he loved them very much, it was like that was a very selfish choice, and I think he carried that with him, a lot of anger.
Mm-hmm. He
And
was the closest one to him too.
yep. Same thing with Lou. Lou talked about the creative side and how he was good at making furniture and he was a great horn player and all this stuff. He worked for himself. He didn't take no crap. And, Lou still expressed that anger for leaving him, but it was more understanding now that he's an adult. Like, he's like, I see how death could have been the easy way out because life is hard. And so he came from more of an understanding perspective.
Because shoot, we saw what happened to Lou last season. He contemplated,
Yep.
unaliving himself too. And when you think about um this journey that Kanan is on and learning about his grandfather and everything, it's going to teach him more about himself. And I mean, to me, it helped me understand all of them more, the kids,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
because I
Yep.
was like, when they started talking about the grandfather and talking about like how scrappy, the grandfather was, he was a boxer. I was like, who getting the hits right now? Marvin. Like
Oh,
Marvin putting in work.
right.
Marvin putting
Yes.
in work, fighting, whatever he needs to get done. So I was like, okay, Marvin got a little bit of that in him and stuff. Lou is the one with the creativeness, the music talent too. So he inherited that from dad. And
Yep.
then, Rock is just all around. I mean,
A boss. Like,
yeah,
if
she's a
said dad
boss.
worked for himself, he ain't take no issue. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, that's
yeah.
pop all
So
day.
all of the kids,
Well,
And
got
so
something from dad.
and
I
I
would
hope
have
that.
loved to hear Rock's perspective, though. I know Kanan wasn't trying to hear, but I hope that they revisit that and see. Like, I want to hear her version of what she thought her dad was,
Mm.
and I mean, like the fact that Grandma got kidney cancer and Kanan is the only one that knows. I mean, that's about the biggest breakdown in the family relationship that I could see happening. Like, you don't even let them know you have a potential, you know, terminal disease.
That
Well,
was heavy.
it is, but I think it all culminates to going back again to Kanan, because Kanan's eyes should be a little more open, and uh, he should have more of a visual of his mother. You know, he's been very heavy on his mom. So
Mm,
once and now that he understands the family tree, where they come from, who they are, you got to start treating your mother a little differently.
yeah.
You got to see the light for what it is, you know. And so hopefully with all this, and as far as um,
But he a
grandma,
kid.
well,
You know, on the show, he's a teenager, and that
yeah,
thought process, the maturity, and because when you think about it,
but he never
just
had
killed his
anything.
dad. She just killed
Right.
his dad. She had his best friend killed. She got like, so
I
he's
I
still
get it.
hanging on to a lot of that stuff.
No, I get it, but I think that once, you know, particularly with grandma issue and doing this book report, like to your point, doing this report and so forth, it's gotta mature him some, because you know sometimes things
Mhm.
can mature you.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's some of those things that he's now realizing that will mature him, and see his mom in a different light. That's,
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, hopefully, I'm pulling for the family. I'm rooting for them, but something always comes up where things go left, and that's why I'm like, I'm not hopeful. But
yeah.
and you talked a little bit about Marvin and how he got his boxing on this episode. I'm thinking that's not really gonna fare well with Rock, that he's over here cutting side deals with Stefano.
Oh my goodness. I was like, what are you thinking? Because I was like, if you taking deals, whatever, you need to let your sister know what's going on. Like y'all just got out
By
from
the like,
underfed scrutiny and stuff. And so why would you think it's smart for you to do that and not run it by Rock? Like last season when she said she was getting out the game, he said to her, like, I want to do da 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 da. You know, he ran it by her. So I was like, so why would he not bring it up
it,
to her this time? That's I'm not understanding.
And Stefano, you know, you can't trust him.
No.
And the
mm-mm,
question is, you know, what is he putting on Marvin that Marvin can't see right now?
that part.
You know, because you know, there's something nefarious behind this,
Yeah,
and
it is.
you know,
It's
Marvin,
crazy because he sent Marvin in there saying, I can't do it myself because this is a made man.
yeah,
So I gotta, you gotta be the muscle for me. But
exactly,
obviously, if Marvin, a black man, is coming and attacking him about his dealings, cheating on this man's daughter, I'm gonna connect two and two and say, okay, Stefano put you up to this. So it's like you a target either way.
I think this could lead back to another war with Rock and them. Like, or this could get Marvin killed. You know, I hope not, but
Right.
you know, it could.
It
and not to mention that young man that he beat up. You know, um, that could come back to haunt uh you know, Stefano as well as Marvin. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
know he doesn't realize that Stefano put Marvin up to it, but if that should ever come to light in any kind of fashion, you know, I guess what I'm saying is Stefano is setting Marvin up
Mm-hmm.
big time.
Mm-hmm. I
mhm.
think so. I
I
think
don't
so.
see no win in it because I mean, saying that I owe you a favor, I mean,
Yeah, you
sure,
don't owe me nothing. No.
thanks.
Yeah.
Right,
Like, what
Let
does
right.
that
me
mean?
right. Let me break clean from you, and you know, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Maybe not the next episode, but somewhere down the line, we're going to see what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what made me think about it, I was like, because, you know, going back to the beginning of the series, we learned that at one point, Marvin was the one in charge before Rock. And I was just like, so is that what's motivating him? That he wants to have something for himself again? Like, because I was just wondering, because I was just trying to think about the motivation of him doing this and not cluing his sister in after
Yeah.
everything that happened,
yeah,
after having, you know, Gerald being a CI
Right.
and
Yeah.
everything. After all of this,
yeah.
you decide to keep this from Rock. Like I'm like, why would you make that call?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I can only think that it's ego, and he's trying to be overly ambitious, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can justify because it doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah. I didn't,
Mm-mm.
the benefit, cost benefit analysis just doesn't work out here, because I couldn't see why you would take
Mm-mm.
on,
Mm-mm.
why you would even have to be bothered. I mean, I'm like, you know, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I want to talk a little bit about Jukebox now. She had the dinner with the girl from her group that, they were feeling each other last season.
Aisha.
And
Aisha.
Aisha, yeah. And they started kind of talking about some uh possibly dating, but Jukebox is kind of conflicted. And Aisha's family ain't helping much anyway, talking about the future plans and basically kind of downing the singing group and saying, writing it off as just like a little hobby, but it's not really that, it's not feasible to maintain to get a good life. They are pushing college and whatnot. And so I think that Juke is really she's conflicted in her mind about where her future is headed. And so, she talks to Nicole's dad as well. And she tells him about the group. And I really love that they have this ongoing relationship because, even though Nicole's mom was tripping, dad was like, it's good to have somebody around that I can still talk to and have these fond memories of my daughter, somebody I can tell really loved my daughter. So, he gave her the real deal about the military too, and was like, it's conservative, and he was kind of hinting that it was a little racist and sexist and stuff, so you might want to reconsider.
Yeah, I want to get back to Aisha though. I think she's short lived on this. You know, Jukebox already lost Nicole, and I see that same demise coming to Aisha as well. Innocently enough, um, it's almost as if whatever Jukebox touches, it just turns sour. So
It could be.
I see that more for Kanan's little boo Crystal, because she's starting to get into the mix of what he got going on, trying to advise him on how to deal with his corner boys and
but
whatnot.
I think that's a good thing for Kanan. I think Crystal, as far as I'm concerned, she's good for Kanan because she made some good common sense and said some things to him that either Kanan doesn't know or wasn't thinking about.
Either way, like Juke and Kanan are both always in the line of danger because of their association in that family. And so anybody that they choose to be with is also fair game.
I have a different thought about Aisha because right now they're young and stuff. And I feel like Aisha might end up breaking Juke's heart. That's what I think is going to happen. I think because she cares about Juke and stuff for now, but at the same time, she's still learning herself.
So she was very wishy-washy last season, whether she
she's still right. Right. That's what I'm saying. She was just dating Kanan and stuff. So I was gonna say she may like guys too, and that's what I'm saying. Like I think she might end up, breaking Juke's heart in the long run. But anyway, I was gonna say leading to that situation with Aisha and Kanan. Now I think seeing this episode made us realize why Kanan behaved the way he did and pivoted from Aisha. Because when they were at Lou's club and they were sitting there and Aisha was like, Juke is so dope. Juke is this, Juke is that. I was like, and I saw he kind of like looked at her.
Yep.
He took her, and I said, I think in his mind, that's when he stepped back.
Yeah.
Like after that, then when last season we saw when he took her to the movies and he tried to make his move, and she was like, nah. And remember when he started messing with Crystal, and then when Jukebox stepped to him, he said, "No, I think she more your type."
Yep.
So I said, I think once he peaked game,
right,
he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna let my cousin have her." And I think in this first episode, I was like, "This is the stuff that we didn't see, that we didn't know." The conversations and stuff that happened behind the scenes. Because we were like, when we saw Kanan act a fool, but Kristen was like, "Oh, Kanan's showing out." We like, Kanan is tripping. But then seeing the episode and how that played out.
Yeah, he had his reasons.
He had his reasons. He stepped, and even though I'm not saying it wasn't cold the way he handled things, but I think he did it in a way that he stepped back and gave Jukebox a chance.
Right. You just really laid down the tool that could be the catalyst for taking Aisha out, because I don't think it's a good idea to piss off Jukebox either. She's got a lot of hurt behind her. So if Aisha does wind up hurting her, breaking her heart, that might not be a good look for Aisha.
I mean, we know what Jukebox turned into.
Yes, exactly right. And
This
Yeah.
we
is
don't
all the
know.
stuff that contributed to her becoming who she became.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to see. For me, I think that Lou is short-lived this season. I don't know. I'm praying he get it together, but even he was just he sounds hopeless. He sounds defeated. When Jess stopped into the bar to talk to him, she was real excited talking about her, dealings in LA and whatnot. And, trying to talk about how she had been bragging on him to all the people out there. I think she was trying to, energize him and get him hopeful about something. But he was like, nah, I'm good. He basically like writing her off. And, she kind of said, you need to work through the stuff that happened to you that's not your fault. Because I think that, Lou does internalize a lot of what has gone on.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's sad, but I don't know where Lou is going to stand. I'm really hoping he has a breakthrough this season.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think so. Um, at least, but he could possibly still be short-lived, even with that situation with Unique. Like, I just think that situation is so volatile that anybody can really go with him being in the state that he's in.
And we've seen how last season he was a loose cannon. He was getting drunk all the time. He was popping off, telling business that he shouldn't be telling. So I'm like, yeah, Lou is a huge liability if he don't pull it together.
Yeah, I was hoping that he'd come around and do better, but I don't know.
And
Did you?
don't let moms pass or something like that.
Oh
And
yeah,
they didn't know nothing about this cancer that she had. I think that would tear them up that she didn't say anything. And I think that would further send him down the spiral.
Now, question:
yeah.
Do you think Kanan will, continue to keep that a secret between he and his grandmother, or do you think he'd share that information with at least Jukebox?
I think grandma's her health is so fragile right now. I think it's gonna come out anyway.
Yeah,
You know,
well, that's
Yeah.
because
true
she's
too.
because it's saying it's terminal and everything and stuff. And I think it's going to be interesting because her dynamics with the kid, like I thought the dynamics that she shared with Kanan was really interesting because she was just like really loving and everything. But whenever you saw her with the kids, it was kind of like
Yeah.
you gonna pay me, you gonna give me my
Right,
money,
right.
and like I was like she has a really interesting dynamics with the kids
Yeah.
as
That
opposed to Kanan.
which is why I thought it would. I thought it'd be a little. It was a little confusing for me to believe that the family would be that torn up about it, because as you said, the
That's still
dynamics
your
between
parents. That's still your mom.
it
Your
is. I
mom.
mean, it certainly it is. I just think that, and I believe that Kanan will tell someone. And if he told anyone, I think it would be Jukebox, and Jukebox would probably tell, Rock.
Well, that's something that remains to be seen. It's so much like the situation, like you said, is so fragile with everything. Like they just getting the cops off their back. They just kind of getting back on their feet, getting in the game again. Then you have all of these family issues popping up left and right. Everything is like so fragile. I mean, the wind can blow in this family a break. So I'm like,
But once
yeah,
they find out that Unique is on their tail, they better come together strong because
yeah.
it's going to take the whole family to wrap that up.
Yeah, and we see how vicious Ronnie was. So
Mm-hmm.
I would think that Unique might have some of that in him too, if he was, to go fully rogue.
Well, we'll see because I think Early's going first. So,
Yeah, I was scared for Early when he first handed over that gun. I
oh
was
man,
like, "You sure you want to do that?"
that's what I
Right.
thought.
Well,
Crazy.
some things that I was thinking and I'm seeing, when Kanan and Rock went to meet with Snaps and them and
Hmm.
And
everything,
Pops, yeah.
I was like, they got backing behind them now. But the way that Kanan moves and they even said like, we don't know if we can trust you. You killed your partner. Da, da, da. I was like, in the back of my mind, I do feel like Kanan might try to find a way to snake Snaps in them
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
get
because
them up out of
remember
there.
he increased their profit on Canaan, and Canaan was already telling his girlfriend that the money was coming in kind of slow,
Hmm.
so that's going to eat more into his profit, and now that Rock was there to see, to witness all that, the question I had in my mind is, do they come together to, as you said, probably snake snaps and pops? What do they do?
I have a theory, and I don't know if this is true. This is only what I think,
Mhm.
because he still feel a way towards Rock too. I think he gonna work with Rock, maybe get Snaps and them out the way, and then at some point, I think he gonna snake Rock. I think he gonna take the business from her. I do.
Well,
I think he's learning all these things and stuff, and he's learning, and she got to wait this and the other. But I think because he still feels a certain way and he wants to be his own man, I think eventually he gonna try to snake her too.
hmm,
I'm not gonna rule it out.
no,
No, I don't. Especially, I mean, you kill pops too, and
Yeah,
everything. It's so much stuff, and he only really working with her and back in the house because he has to be.
right.
right,
It ain't because he want to be.
right.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
think that's another strike on Rock's list. The fact that she stuck that gun in his bag last season, like,
all
geez,
of that,
you are
all of that,
betraying everybody.
Yeah.
exactly. And
You
but she did
already betrayed me once. Am I gonna let you do it again?
right.
So
So I
yeah,
just it's all of that. And where's famous? Where's famous?
famous in the Bing.
But you know what? If he was in the Bing, why the cops stop Kanan?
Well, you know what? Because I think last season what happened with Famous is they were saying if you give up information on Detective Howard and how he got you out of jail that one time, then we might be able to work something out where we could, finagle something with this murder case. And so I'm thinking that Famous might have weaseled his way out of that situation. All I gotta do is give up some dirt on the cop. All right,
So
cool.
you think he in Wittek somewhere? I was thinking because the fact that that Jessica popped out in town, that's his sister. I'm thinking Jessica hiding him somewhere. He might be on the West Coast with Jessica somewhere.
Yeah,
If he's smart, that's where he'll go.
I can believe that. I can definitely believe that. Famous went ghost, and so he's with Jessica out there in the
If
West
he's
That's
in the
what
smart,
I'm
West Coast.
thinking.
if he need to go over to the West Coast. Kanan
Cause
was
she's
already dogging him out last season.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you see, like she didn't glowed up in the record industry and stuff, and she got a little clout out there and stuff.
It's,
She
she
got the means to hide him out.
and not
Yeah.
only that, to help him out too.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's a lot that I'm looking forward to this season, seeing how things work out. Do you guys have nominees for who can get the hands? Ron?
Early.
Early was helping though. You want to give Early the
No, no.
hands?
Early did himself an injustice. He signed his own death certificate, and he put a whole bunch of junk in Unique's head that I don't think needed to be there at that particular time. If
Mhm.
he's your boy, help him out. But you're talking about, you owe me this, you owe me that. This is this.
Say, you're my investment.
Yeah, you were my investment, and Unique is like, I ain't nobody's investment. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, he gets the hands for just
I agree.
being
I'm with
stupid.
you on that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
I
y'all got
agree.
any other nominees for who can get the hands?
I think I might have to give Marvin the hands. Because I just don't this Stefano thing, I just feel like that's gonna come back to haunt him and him not giving his sister
Heads
the
up.
heads up and stuff. I just think this is going to be a disaster.
Well,
And
shoot,
what
why
you
you at it? Give Stefano the hands too for
I
asking.
That's what
was
I'm
gonna
about to
say him
say.
too, but I
Yeah.
was like, let me leave him for somebody else.
Yeah, I know you're right. I started to say exactly the same thing. Stefano deserves the hands for putting Marvin in that position now.
Yeah.
Back to what you were saying, Tiffany, if Marvin is doing this for his own greed, then yeah, he should get the hands. But we can't figure out any other reason. So I guess I have to agree with the hands. He getting the hands as well.
Mhm.
All right, now do we have a nominee for game ball? Who gets the game ball? I'm not seeing any clear cut winners
Um,
because I think everybody was tripping a little bit this episode.
yeah, I
Everybody
don't know.
was. Look, Sasha Penn for writing Unique back into the Raising
Yeah.
Kanan.
Okay, we'll do
I'm gonna
that.
take that one.
I maybe Nicole's dad for
Okay.
staying with
Okay.
Jukebox and
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
give her some
Yeah, positive
screen time.
influence.
Yeah,
Yep, that was a good one.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Okay, yeah. All right, I'm gonna ride with y'all on those two because I can't think of nobody that stood out as like doing something good.
Right.
Okay, well, this has been amazing. I'm so glad that we're back to filming.
Yeah.
Thank you to all of the viewers out there for sticking with us. You know, we try to keep the content fresh and exciting for you all. So make sure you are tapped in with us, subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop down in the comment section and let us know what you thought about this episode. And make sure that you tell your friends and family to tap in with the Spot Real Talk as well. We are on all major social media platforms at the Spot Real Talk. So follow us there. And make sure that you are also subscribed so that you can click that playlist that has all the interviews in it. And you can see the most recent one that we have done with some of the cast from Power, Raising Kanan. Also, stay tapped in because we might have some more coming. So,
Never know.
you know, you're not going to want to miss out. It pays to subscribe to the Spot Real Talk because we're going to keep you entertained. Y'all got anything else before we close out?
Well said. I'm good.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to call it a night. Make sure you guys are here next time for the episode 2 recap of Raising Kanan season 4. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
She look good when she rockin'. Long as up, I'ma do your thing. Shawty know she killing the game when she rockin' her. When she rockin' her. Yeah. Cornrows crochet, got us some French braids. Jumbo box braids, micros been laid. You a work of art, girl, you set apart. See her tying up her hair with the satin scarf. Let's go. She been in the bed before she bought her a bag. Don't worry if it's her.